Hello and welcome to Just CHOPSING podcast. And here we are today with Series Child. I don't know if I should say your real name, Alan, but it's Alan Young and Andy Ruddy. And obviously my co-host and cousin David.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hello.
So we've got one very hairy guy who's even hairier than me today.
Yeah, I
With
know.
a great beard.
Sprouted up overnight. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's probably because you knew you were going to talk to me.
That's it.
Well, I have been watching some of your music videos, and you can see the progression of the length of the beard based on the timing of your music videos, which is cool. It's like a time lapse.
So yeah, I know. There was a peak beard streaming in lockdown.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Squirrels and small creatures nesting in it.
All right. Well, we're not here to talk about beards, are we? Because somebody's going to be outdone, and then somebody's going to probably turn the camera off.
Yep.
So anyway, you guys have got a new single together called "Turn the Music Down."
That's right. Yeah.
It's very cool. I've had a good listen to it a few times. I think David has too.
Yeah, it's great.
What do you think about it, Dave?
Yeah, it's really cool. It reminds me a little bit. There's a band that a rock band that I like called Rival Sons. And it reminds me a little bit of some of the rival Sons music. It's great. Video is really cool, straight to the point, and so are the lyrics. So we actually mentioned it on a previous podcast about the retraining and everything that had been mentioned at some other time. And then Hancock decided to touch up his age, so taking the mick out of everything.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to the song and I'm the trouble that I'm under the same sort of impression, you know, that your parents tell you that you need to get a real job and all that nonsense. But I think there's a flaw in the schooling system anyway, that they don't let you be what you want to be, you know. So if you're like 12 years old and you say I want to be a rock star, they don't actually encourage you to be a rock star. They say, you know, you got to go and get a proper job, like, you know. So that song hit a few points with me also. So
I'm really glad. Yeah, the response to it's been really nice, Alan, hasn't it? We were umming and ahhing about whether to release that song as a single, and it seems to have connected with people. So I think we've been kind of vindicated on that choice.
That's the grumpiest we've ever been. That is, because we're not terribly grumpy when we're writing together. I'm quite grumpy on my own, but that we were wondering whether it was too grumpy.
No, I think it's a really poignant message, to be honest.
It's quite. I've had some strange, beautiful things. So I've had a number of ballet dancers get in contact and say how much. So the dance community seemed to really connect to it, and weirdly, I've had some of the cyber community get in touch with me. Andy, I didn't tell you that. Yeah.
Well, what I loved, Alan. Sorry to interrupt, but Alan also posted the song on LinkedIn. I just thought that was genius.
Well,
I thought it was the perfect place to put it.
Yeah.
All the worky people that did IT, they went. One of them wrote to me saying, "I sent it to my sons and told them this is what I want from them," and I just couldn't tell whether he was teasing or not. I just literally, I think he was. But I just, he's so dry or so wrong.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
A proper job.
Alan, my dad said, "Is that me?" in the song when I was up in Scotland. He said, "So you
in the tutu."
Yeah, he does that. Yeah.
I said, "No, Dad, time to go for a lie down." That's not you in the tutu. You're Tom.
Take your meds and you'll be fine.
But the single then is from your forthcoming album. It's called "Talk About the Weather."
Yeah, it is. We had a first single out called "Talk About the Weather," which had another silly video. Not silly, odd video, which are very proud. But yeah, the whole album comes out on September the 3rd.
Yeah, I saw it coming out in September. Yeah, I mean, have you released any other songs off there so far?
We got one more to go before we got one more single that we're going to put out before the album, and that'll kind of coincide with the tour as well. So we're trying to hold back as many as we can. Oh, I'm forgetting about one actually. There's a B-side to the single.
And it's
my favourite track.
Song. Yeah, exactly. It's a bit tucked away. It's like because the turn the music down was very poignant and direct. But we popped another song, a quieter song, because to see if the people that like quieter music would be interested. And it's about taking up smoking again. So it's quite poignant in the wrong way.
So if you can't kill him with COVID, you're going to kill him with cancer.
No, it's not saying, you know what, it's all a bit rubbish. I'm going to have a fag, basically.
Yeah, that one's it's on Spotify. I brought the idea with some words to Alan. I was basically saying about my mum's neighbour, because we like these little kind of human stories, and I was basically saying my mum's neighbour a while back said, yeah, I quit smoking, and then 6 months later she saw him smoking again, and he says, I went to the doctor and asked him, well, is this it? Because I don't really feel better. I kind of enjoyed cigarettes, to be honest with you, so I just took it up again. So we wrote quite a sweet song about it.
I mean, and it was quite difficult because I totally don't agree with smoking. So it's, again, it's like,
yeah, I don't either.
We had quite a lot of fun trying to do it without saying, "Hey kids, take up smoking." We're not saying at all. But it's good as it gets. I think it's my favourite thing we've released so far, and it's tucked away on Spotify.
Oh right, okay. It hasn't been sponsored by Benson and Hedges then.
No, but that's a shout.
Yeah. Taking you way back to the 50s. Smoking's good for you. Make sure you take it up.
Search funded by Rothmans. Yeah.
Yeah. So what brought you two guys together then? Because you're both from quite very different styles, really.
Yeah, well, I'd met Alan at a couple of gigs, but then he booked me for a festival that he curated in 2019. And by that time, Alan had released some music, and we just got chatting about co-writing. And a few weeks later, we got together at Alan's house, and that was the room, Alan, that we wrote our first song.
Very room we wrote our first song. Yeah.
We wrote a really nice song that's on the album called Roper Lane at Alan's house, and then during the pandemic, we sort of got into this rhythm of doing Zoom songwriting on a Thursday in this exact setup. And we just got so many songs out of it, then it kind of felt like a shame not to share them.
Yeah, I think we started off saying, let's do a single, let's do an EP. Oh, Christ, got an album. Now it's like, let's do a
anthology,
a multi-disc set.
And a tour to coincide.
Yeah, that's the best bit. Although we haven't got, if there's anyone out there in Wales that wants to book us, just saying, we don't know anybody in Wales to book. That's just
David. That's where you come in.
I do, yeah. So one of my buddies has got a live music venue. So, and he was due to open last week. Yeah, but he's had to postpone it because it is quite a small venue. I think maximum capacity is about 120 people only.
Yeah, that's about
right. But that would be great.
Yeah, but if you've got to have like tables in there and you can only take 6 to a table, it's worth opening. So, but he's planning on like a weekend mini festival. I think it'll be on a Friday day and a Saturday day. And he was looking to book some acts. So I'll send him your details and we'll take it from there. Yeah.
Oh, class.
Yeah, I guess we did start out with grand ambitions of coming to us because I've had quite a lot of nice feedback about the first single from Wales. So it felt like, everyone's saying about this song, talk about the weather, and we were going, go, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Then it comes down to it. You're sitting there going, how do you get from Inverness to Folkestone?
Yeah.
That's my worst booking.
You booked it.
Yeah.
How do you travel then? Do you just travel with the two of you, or have you got a band, or what?
Well, we'll both be driving. I couldn't stand Alan's company in the car. I've got to be on stage with him. So.
Yeah, but I mean, have you got a band? Is there more of you, or is there?
There is only two of us as a duo for most of
okay.
gigs, but we've managed to get guests to join us. So for the first half of the tour, the English leg of the tour, we've got an amazing singer called Kirsty McGee joining us. Outstanding, and I can't believe that I'm going to go on first. I don't know what I was thinking. But she helped us on the album, and she just said, like, if you want us to pop up and play a song and play with us, and we said yes. stuttering the words. So yeah, when we get to the sort of second week, we're kind of borrowing lovely musical friends in each place we go to.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah, I just wonder what the logistics of it would be, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's the two of us with far too many instruments and no idea of how to get them in a car right now, I think.
Yeah.
It'll be grand.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was going to bring up Kirsty McGee, actually, but because about your tour. But I mean, I don't know how many dates she's booked in with you guys, but
5 dates. I've just yeah. So we're actually announcing all this tomorrow morning. But yeah, she's.
That's all right. This show won't be going out for about fucking 5 weeks.
So next week. Yeah, so
it's a bit less than that.
We are. Yeah, yeah. So Kirsty's joining us for 5 dates. So because effectively, she's got to fly off to Denmark to see her partner, who hasn't seen for a year. So it's kind of like
valid.
Yeah. Oh, well, I thought she might just be going to visit the Danish football team and sing a few songs for her.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't ask her. I met Kirsty last Saturday, so I popped in to see her. I went past Manchester and went and sort of popped in for a cup of tea, and yeah, we were talking through it all. So, and I think she's brought about another 1 million instruments with her. So I think between the three of us, it's going to be absolutely insane.
Okay, cool. And then I read on your bio then, or your bio, a bit of a press pack that I got, that you recorded some of it in a wardrobe, Andy.
Yeah, that wardrobe.
I can't see the wardrobe, but it doesn't matter.
Good acoustic. I don't think there's. Yeah.
Oh right.
It's a damn fine wardrobe. And it soaks up the sound. I did actually try and record in the other room, but because it's kind of less lived in and there's less stuff in it, the sound was way more tinny.
Right. Yeah.
So I recorded the album here. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you had all your wife's coats. So have you got a girlfriend or a partner?
Yeah, my girlfriend. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So you had all the coats in there or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And she don't wear them, so someone's got to use them.
Yeah. Well, if they're soaking up the sound, then.
Well, that's the important part of the recording process is the throwing. I mean, I've gone for duvets here, so I basically covered everything with blankets.
Oh right. Okay.
It's not as cool as having baffle boards and pretending you know what you're doing, but it's kick up quite a bit of dust when you put duvets everywhere.
Yeah. You're forever polishing your instrument.
I think that's another podcast.
Well, that was.
Just call HR. Hang on.
So, what instruments can you both play?
I'm mainly piano and guitar. I mean, I can venture out and mess with other stuff, but generally, those are my instruments.
Yeah, I love the way he says that. He's really good at both of those instruments, and I am okay at the guitar and a rank amateur on keyboards. And on tour, I appear to be playing keyboards. So I kind of work out how that works. I don't know how you did that. You're playing anyway. So yeah, I play the harmonium and various bits of random keyboard stuff because I love old acoustic instruments, and I like a creaky old. No, I'm not going to go there. I like ancient instruments. And if they can survive the tour experience, then they should sound amazing.
Oh, good.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Good. So what got you both into music then? So, you know, what sort of age did you start singing, playing instruments, songwriting?
Alan, when did you start? Because I know that you kind of picked it up again, but what was the...
Yeah, I sang all my life and played the guitar, most of it, but I only started writing songs when I was 50. You know, I'm 97 now, so
that's a good experience under your belt then.
I started 5 years ago, and
your output's been rubbish, by the way, in the last 47 years.
Yeah, but he had to do
3
his
albums.
apprenticeship.
That sucks.
3 albums in 3 years. Thanks. Yeah, that is because Andy, like, well, your bio says you started at the knee of somebody playing a glockenspiel or something. I don't know.
That's me.
Oh, really?
I even write nonsense for press, you know. Well, other people.
You were depressed.
Yeah. You've been doing it forever, haven't you, Andy? Because you've definitely been playing longer than me.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it since I was a very, very small child. and I guess just went off the rails with kind of traditional training at about 15 and gravitated towards the pop thing. I don't really read music. I can read music, but I can't really sight read. I play mostly by ear, and like I say, from about 15, I just couldn't be bothered with the grades and the classical stuff. But I suppose it must have helped.
Well, some people, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Play pieces, but doesn't. I'm not sure. The more I learn, the more I wonder whether it's stopping me being good at that stuff.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I think I've had this conversation with David. You know, we've got too much stuff in your head as you get older, and you can't fit any more in.
Yeah, I was asking someone this at the weekend, like how, as an adult, how do you go about learning in a productive way? Because when you're a kid, having it in that structured way of, one grade, like it kind of makes sense because you're going through school years. But I think as an adult, there should be a more efficient way of learning, where you're kind of not learning things like a child, if that makes sense, because you already have a lot of kind of faculties as an adult. So I think there should probably be more piano literature on that so that people can improve.
I think there is. I just haven't found it yet. Yeah, I think it's quite hilarious when someone tries to teach, because I still take lessons for new instruments, and they do literally try and teach me like I'm a little kid, and I find it absolutely hilarious. And they'll go, and then this is that. What you mean? That's a major 7. I know what a major 7 is. I mean, yeah, I do, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just one note still.
Because David and I have been learning to play the guitar for probably about the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't go very well.
Really?
I do put a bit more effort in than David, I think.
A lot more.
I mean, for my first year, I did actually practice for an hour a day.
Oh, that's good.
Fair.
And it's sort of fallen off for the last few months since I got ill with COVID and everything.
Right.
But for the first year, I did pretty much do an hour a day, and I made it a point, So I can run through the basic chords, at the top of the neck, but then going further than that, there's something I just don't. There's something just not clicking, and I know that and this is a conversation about being an adult. I think if you're a child, you could probably learn it a lot easier, because you don't have so much stuff in your head and you're not overthinking everything. Something just doesn't click.
Yeah, I because I think we go through plateaus more when you're an adult, when you think you're not learning, but what you're doing is absorbing what you've learned so far, and then you go through periods where it goes whoosh off again.
Yeah. I found that actually.
Those plateaus can be quite dispiriting, and then suddenly you go back to something and go, oh my god, I've nailed that whole rosy moment. You're sitting there going, you've picked up something, and then it sort of gives you the confidence to go for it again. I mean, because I find with old folk instruments, I literally go through periods where I think I can't do this, and then suddenly I'm sort of going off and learning loads of songs and loving it, but then I don't seem to go any further.
Yeah, I've actually found that as well. You learn a load of stuff, and then you don't think you're getting anywhere, and you put it down for a week, and then you go back to it, and it's like, fucking hell, I can actually do that. I feel like I'm a little bit more confident than when I put it down, pick it back up again, definitely. Realize I could play it, and then, but yes, it's a weird learning curve, I think, as an adult.
So often when I'm learning stuff, I try and do things the night before, because the night sleep, it's crazy, like what you just said, even in a short space of time, if you're learning a piece and then you sleep on it, it's crazy how your brain has almost digested it and settled it, and then a larger percentage of it the next morning is kind of unconscious, and then obviously you still have to keep working on it. But
if I did the night before the tour, that might be scary.
I didn't mean
all 15 songs.
That's just that we weren't saying that, because I'm a bit nervous now, because Andy and I are meeting to rehearse for the first time on Monday, and I'm frantically learning all the songs right today. That's why it's all here.
I might live stream from Sunday night to Monday and just try and cram it all. Hey guys,
we've got a couple of other things going on Sunday night, so it'll be right.
All right, yeah.
Oh, what's going on?
Yeah, we can't say that. Sorry, I apologize for being English, but yeah.
The pennies just dropped. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, we're Welsh, so we don't know what's going on Sunday.
apart from the fact you get when the inevitable happens and we lose, you get to feel pretty good about how miserable we are. So
well, I'm not going to go there.
I work a lot with Scottish people, so I get very used to it because. But yeah, sorry. It means that we'll be focused on music on Monday, definitely.
Yeah, I was saying to Andy earlier. I mean, I know I messed things up, and I thought this interview was going to be on Monday, but it was actually planned for Wednesday. So you actually had a better time last night than you probably had tonight.
Well, that's true. Well, I mean, it was kind of one of the greatest footballing nights of my life, to be honest. So
obviously, I was one when we won the World Cup, so I remember everything.
I was about 3 months, so I remember it as well.
Yeah. People claiming like Ian Wright, I was 3 and I remember it. He's on there last night. What a load.
Yeah, I know. But
I think
it's really passionate.
Anyway, we've digressed.
Right.
Going back to the album then, I mean, I read that every song on the new album, you decided you were going to pick a topic and each song was going to be about something in specific. Is that correct?
Nearly, yeah, pretty close. Because I think that was just, we didn't do it for the album. We just did it every week. So we go like, what are we going to write? And then we go, I don't know. So yeah, you could say it like this. So, but it had to be something that interested both of us, because quite often I've got this great idea, and Andy would go, yeah. And then Andy would go, I've got this great idea, and I go, well, yeah, but that's kind of, I'm not sure how to write about that. So we would have to find something that we both got excited about. And the irony was we found like hundreds of topics. But that was we kind of had this rule that it had to be interesting. It couldn't just be, I've written a song about love.
Yeah. And none of them
smoking
were
behind the bike shed.
That's kind of where we got that one.
A bike shed song. See, that'd be quite.
Yeah. But
There's plenty of bike shed songs in there.
We did one, for example, Andy had, you suddenly realised how full your phone was because it was completely full of videos of your 2-year-old niece.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, well, I don't know who said it. One of us said, do you think we could write a song out of all these videos?
Our broadband was down that morning in the middle of summer, and I just transcribed a bunch of videos, like verbatim, what my 2-year-old niece was kind of coming out with, Alice. And she was it was such a nice stage, because now if I talk to her, she's just like a little person that speaks English. Whereas in that age of between like 2 and 3, where they're really just like learning to string things together, it was so interesting because they're just totally fearless with the English language. And she was just saying things, and it was kind of gibberish, but also you knew what she meant in the context of the video. But then me and Alan, I brought Alan this massive list of stuff, and Alan just like sung one line at the start of the song, and we were in. He just like got us into this song, and the rest of it we already had the raw material to do it.
Like just sort of placing ads, because I don't think anyone actually tried to write stuff just using the actual words of a 2-year-old. I think people, when you try and write like you think you're a 2-year-old, it was rubbish. Because I did try it, and it was I was awful. So when you just come to the random things, she's like saying, "Look at me, I can wobble this tree," and we're going, "Okay, fair enough, you can do that. That's a rhyme. We'll have that."
Yeah, there was some amazing stuff.
But that was the sort of thing. It'd be like we were both interested. It had to be stuff that interested more than one age group. We were interested in, because it's a universal about little kids are kind of adorable or irritating or whatever.
Yeah. So big kids.
They're awesome. It's, like you said, they are fearless, and some of the stuff they come out with is just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is total gibberish. I mean, it is the most nonsense lyric that either of us have ever written. But I absolutely love that about it, in the sense that once you realise what's going on, people might not realise what's going on. They might just think we've lost our mind. But if they do kind of clock on, hang on a minute, because we've got a little audio clip of Alice at the very start to kind of feed people the concept. And she says something that gets quoted in the song, so you hope that people put 2 and 2 together. And I just find it a really easy listen, even though it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. There's a real charm about it, and I think that's partly to do with the producer, the producers created like this kind of kids music box sound behind the guitars, and it's one of my favorite songs I've ever done, even though it's, you know, the worst lyrics on some level.
Yeah, it sounds like a really mad concept.
Yeah,
It is.
It was just, you know, it's actually it was quite. So that's an example. So we would just sit down and decide to do something that, you know, ideally no one else had done, but actually just something that we interested. We messed about, and we got lots of songs that are pretty bad, to be fair. And they never
Yeah.
So this one was, we weren't sure which way it was going, and then suddenly, you know, the riff comes and we're suddenly going, God, this is beautiful. So it was kind of that was the fun about writing lots, is we could afford to
Right,
go
badly.
to places that might be absolutely desperately bad, and then just go, let's write another song. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
What are you doing this afternoon? And that's kind of whole thing was like morning and afternoon. It's that was the. So yeah, we could say, yeah, we thought about. I mean, we did do some things where we genuinely thought about it, and I made Andy watch a film, and then we would write about the film as a song. Yeah,
Catfishing. Have you ever seen it?
Catfish.
Oh, Catfish, the television series on MTV.
The documentary, yeah.
Yeah. I know it. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but I made Andy watch the original film, which is really beautiful, and because it's the TV series is okay, it's good. But you know, I wanted to, you know, I thought it'd be fun for us to sit down, watch a film, and then try and write the song. That took us about 4 months to get that right, because it was pretty bad what we wrote. It's like, you know.
Well, Catfish is pretty bad anyway.
I love it.
Why did you sit down and watch Grease or something?
I mean, Grease is
Or Fame?
Because we could never do as well as the Gibb brothers, you know.
Oh, on some of the songs we have tried.
Yeah.
Kick each other in the bollocks, you might get there.
You do get Andy because Andy's very good at falsetto, and then you get occasional moments where you go, "Why did I write that? I can't sing it. I can't sing it. I've killed myself."
Just wait for the tour. You're gonna get outbursts like that live in the middle of the song.
In fact, the chorus of "Turn the Music Down" is Andy going, "I almost died when I recorded that."
That's true.
Well, grumpy that day afterwards, I think.
So with your collaboration, then what sort of style would you give it? Because it sounds quite
I don't
mixed
know.
up.
I don't know. I like the fact that part of it is, I don't know if you read our bio, we've got the most long-winded soundbite you could ever have, because we're kind of celebrating that absolute hotchbox mix of genres and stuff. So that was quite liberating. Like when we kind of looked at the songs and thought, actually, the only thing connecting all these songs is how different they are.
Yeah, actually, I'll quote it, isn't it? Because it's the guy texted me in the middle of the night, who sort of our manager, Tim, the fake manager, and but he just texted me. I woke up in the morning and there was this text, and it was like, the Beatles meets Simon and Garfunkel meets Scissor Sisters meets Bon Iver meets Mumford and Sons meets Serious Child meets Andy Ruddy. And I went, "Were you drunk?" And he went, "Yes." Mind if we use that as a marketing quote? Because I really quite like it. Because I definitely hear Bon Iver. I definitely hear Simon and Garfunkel. And there's a bit of Andy Ruddy in there, but and apart from that, yeah, it'd be anything.
Yeah.
But because it's when you talk to each other, because obviously, you know, 24 years difference in age. Actually, quite a lot of it came back to, because I don't really listen to classic music. I listen to modern music. And yet, Andy, you would say, you know, when did you hear this? Now, you know, we would sit there and actually chat about these songs. And I said, God, I haven't listened to that in ages. And I'd go back and listen to stuff. And so, you know, suddenly I'm listening to the Beatles again. And suddenly, you know, I haven't listened since I was 12. But
I was going to say classic. You mean classic as in the Beatles, not classic as in classical?
As in, no, classic. No, not as in, you know, Peer Gynt or something. No.
A bit of Brahms or something.
Yeah, meets Tchaikovsky. Yeah.
Knife. Yeah, that's it. That's the film. We're going to do that.
So you mean a bit more like the Beatles and a little bit earlier?
Well,
that you listen, you're more listening to more modern pop music, or what?
I listen to modern folk music, I think. So
oh, right, okay, yeah.
In the folk world, so and I guess that is kind of timeless, but that's quite an exciting place at the moment. That's where I've been working. So, but Andy, you're in the sort of, you know, sensitive singer-songwriter, the kind of Damien Rice, beautiful.
Yeah, but then again, I think for anyone my age, we tend to work backwards. We tend to realize just what a bad state mainstream music is in, and then not the folk thing, because I would agree there's great records being made in genre, but I think a lot of people by the age of 30, they've kind of used their 20s to educate themselves. So I've kind of gone back and discovered a lot of the Beatles and a lot of the like Paul Simon and Talking Heads, like just stuff like that, where I've kind of gone back and listened to stuff and have a totally different view on music, and also kind of, it's a damning, maybe I'm just being cynical, but it's kind of a damning reflection on, let's say, the top 40 now.
Yeah.
So I've been working backwards for like 5 years, I think.
Because I'm like painfully trying to stay up to date, listening to Declan McKenna, who I think is amazing. In the pop.
Yeah.
Or This Is the Kit in the kind of more folky one. So it's kind of, but it's quite fun to sit there. But I can't wait for the car playlist that we have to put together, Andy, because that's getting published.
People do that now, don't they?
You have to hear this, you have to hear that. So I had to listen to Broken Bells, which I hadn't listened to, and I loved. Sort of, and because quite often our musical conversations was, there's this kick drum sound on this song you have to hear.
Right, yeah.
I like the song, or the kick drum sound, whatever. But I love that song, and quite a lot of our conversations were Spotify links.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. So you're going to make a Spotify playlist together, you mean?
I think it'd be a nice idea, because we at the time we just recorded everything we spoke about. I said, let's make sure we keep that as a playlist, because it'd be quite interesting when we go back and see if anyone can spot these influences, because I'm pretty sure they won't.
Because you always miss, even when you go, oh, I want to do something like this. I read a quote from one of my favorite songwriters the other day, and it's about missing gloriously. Do you know what I mean? You try and do a song like that, and what you end up with is something with slightly different DNA, but it's great for what it is. So yeah, we probably have used some of those tracks to just help get us somewhere, but we never end up where we expected,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, very interesting combination, I'd say. I mean, what sort of folk music are you into, Alan? I mean, is it like more Bob Dylan, or are you a bit more tree hugger type?
Christ, I am an arch tree hugger. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I live in a bloody woods, right? So, and I wrote my last album was about trees. So, I think.
Yeah, I watched some of your videos actually. I thought, Christ, this guy's a tree hugger.
If I could live in a tree, I would. Obviously, broadband would be bad, but that's be good. So I think there's that most mainstream thing I listen to is This Is the Kit, but I do love, there's a lot of people using traditional instruments to make modern music at the moment. So I'm quite interested in the sort of the youngish bands trying to break the rules of folk. And I do enjoy a good folk song and a sitting. I do enjoy going to a pub with a bunch of musicians sitting in a circle, and frankly, me not really playing but hanging out. So I like all that. But at the same time, I'm as happy as the next person to listen to a good bit of indie.
Right, okay, yeah. You're not really stuck in your genre then.
No, I love festivals. Going to see lots of things you've no idea what they are, and then it's brilliant.
Yeah, and really enjoying, going a bit left field, like. Yeah, that's cool.
I think the point was like, it's just a shame that stuff isn't in the charts anymore. I mean, even when I was growing up, bands like the Kaiser Chiefs, say what you will about the Kaiser Chiefs, they were in the charts. They were in the top 10 singles.
Yeah.
So that, I always find that a little bit sad, that even the concept of someone like Declan McKenna kind of breaking into the singles chart in a sort of significant way, it might make the top 40, but these things are like scattered in the 20s and 30s. I find that a little bit sad, because then it doesn't quite reach the mainstream. So yeah, I think like I was saying before, there's a lot of good music being made. It's just not necessarily getting the oxygen.
Yeah. That's the problem in it. With a lot of the problems, like television programs like The Voice, and what's the other one?
X Factor.
Yeah, X Factor and all that nonsense. Kids are looking at that and thinking, oh wow, that's how you become a pop star. You go and stand in a queue for fucking 8 hours, and then you get in, and then some cunt tells you you're not fucking good enough, and he sends you home again.
Actually, you're quite similar to real music. I've the
no, but it's not yeah, it's not a good way to bring your children. I mean, like I said about the school system, I think kids should be given the opportunity to learn music and pick up a drum or pick up a guitar when they're 4 or 5 years old. You know.
Spot on.
I had the flip side because before I started making my own music, I was singing in covers bands, and people didn't realize I could sing. So I would walk into a pub looking like an old fella, and then belt out something, and then someone would always yell "Susan Boyle" at me. That's what I grew
Well,
up
with the beard.
The beard covered up how much I look like Susan Boyle, and I've chopped back my monobrow a bit. So
maybe it was the dress you were wearing.
it really happens. That honestly, Andy,
No, I remember, and I've had a similar thing where people are saying, "Oh, you should go on the X Factor," and I just sort of think, right, so I can't have a conversation with you about music.
Well, the
because
flip.
You don't know about it.
My favourite thing in folk is I'd be really sad. This one, Total Folk Heroes is a young guy called Sam Kelly. Sam Kelly and the Lost Boys, and the Changing Room he's been in, and he is utterly brilliant singer. But he got drunk and decided to go on Britain's Got Talent, and then came second to the Jumping Dog.
Okay.
Then he had to completely forget who he was, and then because no one took him seriously in folk, and he's a magnificent folk musician. And he's going, it's like, but he never mentions the Britain's Got Talent thing because it's a disaster for him.
Yeah.
No one watched from this, but he's totally one of my heroes in music because he did that and he did fantastic folk music. And I was sitting there going, good on you, mate. I mean,
also you can't knock him because we know how ridiculously difficult it is to make money from try to do it the right way. So if you got a young baby to feed and you got a wife and a young baby or whatever, I totally understand it. I got called by a producer a couple of times to do auditions for those things, and I said no, and people around me at the time, I remember really specifically, I said no. That was my reaction. Told my family, told my band at the time, and I had 2 or 3 people come back to me and say, you don't know an opportunity when it's staring you in the face.
Yeah, I used to think the same because I managed a couple of bands, and I used to think, oh, maybe we should check them on one of these TV programs, but is it really an opportunity? It may be an opportunity to get your face on mainstream television, but where does that path lead you?
You don't know, and that's the point. You're putting your career in the hands of a television producer.
Exactly.
And you can't take it back once you've done it. I'd almost rather be unsuccessful with creative control, because I also know that there's people 5 times more successful than me that are struggling financially anyway. I'd much rather be doing stuff with creative control and artistic merit, and having to worry about money on the side than taking a punt to try and make a living from it, but compromising everything that got you into it in the first place. But I totally understand why someone would.
Yeah, and the thing is, I know that these television producers do actually contact people that are somewhat good, if you like, to get them on the show, and the show's fucking rigged anyway. My girlfriend knows somebody that's been invited on the show 4 or 5 times, and she's a magnificent singer, and she's also turned it down. It's just like, and they actually tell her, they've told her, oh, well, you'll get this far, we'll make sure you get this far. And it's like, why would you want to try and lose your integrity by going on a show knowing that you're going to come second or third? It's like, well,
yeah, tricky. It's entertainment at the end of the day. You're signing up to be a cast member in a television show, basically, a bit like Love Island or any of these sort of reality TV.
People want to watch the knobheads on it to start with, don't they? And then it starts getting a bit more serious.
Well, you're right.
On all of the shows, on all of them, unfortunately, the ones, and it proves that. So, like at the end of X Factor, when they got all the weirdos on there together, the Chicken Plucker and a few of the other guys, and they did a song together, didn't they? And you're just thinking, why would you want to put yourself into that again? Do you know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I don't know. I don't get it. But, I was talking to Terry the other day, actually, because I watched the Paul Potts film. It came on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
That was quite interesting, because I really wondered whether did it really happen like that? Like you said, he worked in a mobile phone shop, and then he happened to apply for this show that came on his laptop as a pop-up. did it really happen like that? Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, the backstory, then he'd gone to Italy to sing in front of Pavarotti and all this, a lot of this other stuff that come on it. So you do wonder, you know, was that sort of, did he have a nudge?
Yeah. Actually, I've been meaning to mention to you, Andy, honestly, literally, I got an email this afternoon from someone called American Songwriters Competition. It looked pretty good to me, so I put you in.
You better not have.
I haven't. I looked at the winners, and they were genuinely good people. That was the interesting thing. I thought it was the first time I'd seen one when I went, oh my God, I actually recognise that seriously talented musician.
I just think with a lot of those competitions, and because even like you've got your television things, but then you'll see it all over Facebook, or maybe it's just my algorithms where it's kind of like, do you want to get your songs in front of Grammy Award winning songwriters, or, you know, join Charlie Puth's 1 month music production course? And I just sort of think there's a whole business, because the music business is struggling. There's a whole strand of the music business now that is just basically a business profiting on aspiring musicians, kind of tricking them with the illusion of the music business. And I don't like it. I don't like the principle of it. And I understand that just leaves me in my flat singing into my wardrobe. But honestly, like, I just can't live with the alternative.
The flip side, it does sound pretty amazing, your wardrobe. I mean,
it does, yeah. I wouldn't trade this wardrobe for the world.
It sounds amazing when there's somebody singing out of it. It doesn't sound amazing on its own. But I was going to say, talking about your algorithms on Facebook then, I mean, it's also the same with marketing. You know, would you like to gain 150,000 million followers overnight? You know, sign up for this email list and it'll cost you a tenner. And it's like, well, you know, it's fucking impossible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's the same as these learn to play guitar things. And, you know, are you struggling to learn to play guitar? Then download my free ebook, and then it takes you to something else and something else and something else. And yeah, you can't learn to play that in 6 hours. You know, it's just like, and unfortunately, that's the society we live in at the moment, and a lot of it does come through social media. So, I mean, we do have a regular rant about social media, David.
Yeah. I keep trying to get Alan to watch a special by an American comedian called Bo Burnham. I don't know if you've heard about it.
I've heard about Burnham, yeah.
So he's a comedy songwriter, but he had to retire for 5 years because he was having panic attacks on stage, and it was that kind of quite cutting edge comedy where there was a lot of hecklers, and he was very good at handling them. Phenomenally talented, clever guy. He was really young. I think he's only 30 now, but he's just come out with this special. Came out in like May.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
It's called Inside, and he's made the whole thing in his apartment. And I keep spoiling it for everyone because I'm raving about it so much that when people watch it, they almost can't help but be underwhelmed by it, because I watched it 2 or 3 times before I realised, I mean, this is just an unbelievable piece of work, because he's mouthing off in song form at, you know, social media, the left, the right, himself. It's just an incredibly self-aware but very funny, and the guy's mental health just during the pandemic just absolutely declines, and it's quite jarring, but I think what it leaves you with is, yeah, you know, that jarring feeling is what you feel when you're ranting about these things. There's something not quite right about it, and he's hit a nerve, and he's all over the internet at the minute because people have just responded to it very, very strongly, and I really recommend it for anyone listening.
Yeah, what's it called? Is it called Songs from a Room or something?
It's called Inside.
Oh, okay. Guys, I started watching it on Netflix the other day, I think, and I saw him sing for about 10 minutes, and then I turned it off.
It was the same with my mum and dad. They hated it, but hang in there with it if you can, Alan.
Yeah, I'll have to sit there. I mean, I was doing a few other things at the same time, so I wasn't really watching it, you know. I just thought, I'll have a look at this, see what it is, because I tend to watch. I've started to watch things that are a bit more funnier on TV, because a lot of stuff is like really depressing on this.
Well, we were the same. So we started off, the early stuff we wrote was quite sort of sensitive and soulful. And then by the end, we were just pissing about.
I think that's the best way, to be honest. I mean,
to turn the music down was actually at the end when we were kind of in the mood for like, do you know what? Just call it how it is and let's have a laugh doing it. But at the start, we were like pouring our hearts out and, you know, bleeding onto the page. And then you do that for a couple of months, and then you're sitting there going, well, I've done that now. I mean, we could keep going. I mean, we did some of the time, but they were the ones we tended to put aside. And we realized that actually around kind of November, we just thought we, the two of us, actually need to write something that cheers ourselves up, because that's incredibly helpful to do that. But so we got, so that's why we get such a hodgepodge, because we've gone through all of us. Yeah, and this year have been going through ups and downs of roller coasters. So
it's quite a unique trajectory that everyone's been through. And I don't know about you guys, but I found 2021 much harder than 2020, in the sense that this thing dragging on. At the start it was kind of like, right, this thing is happening, now we all need to adapt. So then you kind of make a conscious effort to adapt for a period of time, and then it gets 6 months down the line, and things keep getting put back, and I think it's just worn down our resistance. So like Alan's saying, by the end of it, we were getting some really interesting results, but it's a bit like a kind of drunk, mad person by the end of it, because it's like, well, why not? We might as well just totally lose our minds. Because
because everybody else has. Yeah.
That's the next single.
It is, yeah.
Literally.
No, why not lose their minds? Because everybody else has.
It was about our next single is about basically blue tick culture, which any musician that's tried to promote anything, or maybe you guys as well in your field, if you had a blue tick by your name and you tweeted someone, they would get back to you 5 times, quicker or more of the time if you had a blue tick by your name. Doesn't matter what you're saying. So we've written this song called All My Friends Are Famous, and we're just kind of taking a pot shot at that. As musicians, it's so toxically hierarchical, music. So you can totally see why so many musicians take that personally, have mental health issues, because if you haven't got 10,000 followers and a blue tick, there's no point in me responding to your DM, because there's nothing in it. I don't care about your music. I don't care if you're good at songwriting. If you've never written a song and you got a blue tick and 10,000 followers, then we can talk.
Yeah. So I've made us blue tick badges that we're going to put in our video. So my response is to go and say, I want one. I want a blue tick.
And on tour, that's what I love, right? So I'm going to go full diva and only address people that have a blue tick.
But I'm bringing the blue ticks to make sure that people can talk to them. I think we're going to have quite a laugh on the tour with this gag.
And I'm going to look like a twat.
Yeah. I'm just...
Don't get in trouble with Nike.
No, but as in, when you got that verified artist thing symbol next to Twitter. And
yeah,
so,
I know what it is.
So I've had the badges made up by a cartoonist, so it doesn't, because a mate of mine said he'd do me one that looked lovely and a bit rubbish.
Yeah, he was on it, Terry. I wasn't on it. I thought you could probably just rip it off, but Alan was all on the copyright and the avoiding getting sued, so you did well there.
Well, it took the cartoonist like 2 minutes. Just like, so anyway, is that it? And I went, yeah. He says, I thought it was going to be a bit more difficult. And I went, no, it's just a tick. But yeah, quite excited. So this is I guess Andy, of course, is a hugely talented musician, and I'm the idiot that sends out earplugs with our singles to tell people to turn the music down. Because I like taking the piss out of people's marketing. I can't believe I find this ridiculous. It's kind of old fashioned, but I grew up in a company where people would send you stuff to show their goods, and I just thought it was absolutely hilarious.
We had a guest on a few weeks ago. I don't know if you've watched it. And he wanted people to sign up to his mailing list. So he previously made an album and he released it in 2015. And in 2019, Dave? Was it 2020? I think it was 2019. But he wanted people to sign up to his mailing list because he was going to he's in the middle of making a new album ready for release. So he offered to give the original album that he made, away for free. And it came with a Kit Kat and a tea bag. And he called it, what did he call it? Believe
and Chill.
Believe and Chill, yeah, because the album was called Believe. So he called it the Believe and Chill pack.
Yeah,
that's class.
And he said it worked really well, but he was giving out 2-finger Kit Kats and a tea bag. So
that's absolute class.
I've got a friend who
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you got the album then.
I got this the other day. This is called Cosmic Disco, and this arrived with Sherbet Dib Dabs.
Okay.
Oh, that's class.
Actually, a useful piece of marketing because it made me laugh and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. But I have a friend who sends me, he buys music from different artists and then he sends it to each other's artists that don't know each other.
Oh right, okay.
This one came with Sherbet Dib Dabs, so they were absolutely. That's my favorite piece of marketing ever because I actually
That's
thought
old school.
absolutely pointless, and I love it. But that, but I like a Sherbet Dib. Right.
You just reminded me of a review from the noughties. I think it was a Fratelli's album, and one of the journalists wrote, "This album is so laddish that it should come with an 8-pack of Stella." Which I always quite like, but I think now we've reached the point where people will actually do that.
Yeah. Well, me and Terry are thinking about it now to try and get people to sign up to our website and stuff and subscribe to YouTube. We're trying to what can we send them to bribe them?
Well, now you've interviewed us, you don't need to worry about it. Just watch it all go.
That's all.
6 weeks time, just watch.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that we were at 199 subscribers, weren't we? And then we get
on fucking. And
then we get to 25. We release a podcast, and then we go back to 199. So we kept joining all the time.
It was doing that for weeks.
Knocking down just around a border and Spotify for a few weeks. Obviously, someone's going, "That's a shit song. I'm not following you anymore."
Yeah, and then they sign back up again and wait for your next one. I think it might be better, and unfortunately, it's a little bit worse than the last one. So, yeah,
those bots are coming out of this now. Now he's got over that. We'll just take it back under, taking out, Andy 749884. Obviously, not
Let's dopamine starve him. Make him hungry.
Well, we're okay now. We're on like 265. So
smashed it.
we're heading for that blue tick, I think. All right then, guys. I don't know. Actually, I'm going to turn my book around a minute because I've got a story, and I'd like you, since as you're a bit of a tree hugger, Alan, I think you might enjoy it. And there's a company called Eternal Reefs. Have you heard of them?
No.
And what they do, once you've been cremated, they mix your remains with concrete, and then they create an artificial pearl, and then you can etch personal messages into this little bit of concrete, because obviously it's one of your loved ones or your dog or whatever. And then you can put handprints in it or write a little message on it because it's a concrete thing, And then they encase it into an environmentally friendly reef ball, and they throw it in the water, in the sea, not in the canal, in the sea, and it creates a new habitat for fish and other sea life. So it creates a part of a reef. It builds. They're going to try and build an artificial reef out of dead people. So I thought that's quite interesting.
Artificial reef out of dead people. Wow.
Yeah, it was cremated remains, So
I mean, it's kind of just a sea version of being buried, isn't it? Because
I don't know. It's not like thrown over the side, is it?
No, you're sort of thinking, because you get to be an artificial part of a forest by just being buried. Sorry.
Yes, you could. Yeah, because a tree will grow out of you.
Because it presses on the worms, but it's that's kind of. It's kind of a lovely, consoling thing. There's a fantastic book called Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, which is all about the funeral industry.
Okay.
I read recently, which my daughter forced me to read. I blooming loved it. Which is all about people's need for sort of like ceremony in it is an important time. And I think I'd love to hear what she thought of it, because she says the more she has to do these things, the more she just goes, "I ain't doing any of this, mate. I'm just going off there, But it is, stick me in a thing, fire it up, and then throw me away. I'm done." And I said again, "Okay, that's not very nice, is it?" But this is a lovely way of doing that.
But that's what's interesting. Like, it's interesting to know like what that taps into, like the exact sentimentality that like that new thing that I've never heard of, which I'm still kind of processing. what exactly that taps into, versus like you say, cremation or the more traditional things.
It makes more sense to me than a massive coffin that's covered in metal handles and stuff.
Well, they take the metal handles off anyway, don't they?
Exactly. And they put it on the next person and sell them
They
again.
do.
That's recycling.
Just recycling, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's quite a beautiful. I mean, it's quite a beautiful thing.
I think it could be. I mean, I read it and I thought, well, yeah, if it's done right, maybe, but I don't know. It's
just like going, you get hold of your little toddler and you say, "Go on, Alice, press your hands in the ashes of your dead grandfather." I'm not.
Yeah.
Just having a little bit of a moment on that.
Stick your finger in and don't lick it afterwards. It's not a sherbet dip.
Just like that. So I must say, at that level, I'm struggling with it a bit. I'm just going to get sued now. I can feel it.
Go on, say what you got to say.
I'll just go. This is, of course, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. I always say allegedly, yeah.
Yeah, there's some. I think these things come about though. It's like they come about through. If it's culturally acceptable to do this, build yourself a wreath, and everyone wants to build a wreath, that's beautiful. Then people will do it. But most of these things come up as marketing ideas originally. Like diamond rings were only invented by diamond miners trying to say that we got to flog a bunch of diamonds. Let's create a wedding ring, which is forever. We can charge 2 months' wages for. Only happened in around 1930. And then everyone wants one, and then now it's, so if they've hit the next big diamond ring thing with and there, then I'm fine.
This is why I like writing songs with Alan, because Alan just knows stuff. So it's like if you've only got one verse, he'll be like, "Do you know that? Have you heard about this concept in physics?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course not, but you can write me a second verse."
Well, what do you think about the lordship thing then, where you buy a square foot of land in Scotland and you become a laird?
Is that right?
Yeah, I think
you actually can become a lord and lady of the manor by owning a square foot of land.
My son's going. His girlfriend bought him for a laugh for Christmas.
So he's Lord.
That's class.
Lord Curtis Evans, my son is.
Probably cheaper than donating £500,000 to the Conservative Party. Did I get that one in? Because you don't have to commit as many crimes then as well.
Yeah, that's true. And you don't have to be a paedophile.
That's allegedly.
Allegedly.
I feel like we should get all four of us get swept away by lawyers at this point.
Well, you could bring a class action lawsuit against Zoom.
That's it.
Yeah.
So go back to that reef then, because a reef is a living organism, isn't it?
That's the idea in it. Basically, it's not a real reef, is it? But it's to give it. I think it's probably to give more of a cultural element to the seabed to create a new reef. You know what I mean?
Well, something's got to grow on it. I guess it's a bunch of barnacles, isn't it?
Yeah. But I was thinking, wouldn't you be better off having the ashes loose, because then it feeds the fish rather than having them encased in a concrete wall?
They're going to float, don't they?
Yeah, we could sell mafia burials where you just give people concrete boots.
That'd be the way, yeah.
Maybe they stole it from the mafia and they had that idea from the concrete boots.
I think it's like you're saying, try to sell it as essentially fish food is less commercially and aesthetically appealing than a reef.
Maybe not.
You could seal nuclear waste in it, and then you'd be doing something environmentally friendly. There you go. That's my idea. That's a terrible idea, but it's now writing songs to me. I have really bad ideas. And then Andy goes, "Alarm! Stop!
Alarm!"
So you could seal nuclear waste in it, as opposed to not seal nuclear waste at all.
It would.
Allegedly. Do you always aim to get this level of surreal on your podcast? Is that the sort of end game?
Well, David hasn't really said a lot today, to be honest. He's just been sat there listening. But I usually go off on a bit of a tangent. And then David usually straightens me back up, but he hasn't really said much today, to be honest.
Oh, I'm just letting you. I just want
I
to see.
think I think he's wanting to see how far we could actually go.
It's a highly enjoyable tangent.
Anyway, did we cover all your music, lads?
Absolutely. I think we could have done with a bit more beard chat, to be honest.
I have actually written down some questions, which, to be fair, Terry has covered.
Okay.
The exception of, and I know we did say at the beginning we were going to talk about it, but beard grooming tips.
Well, I think that the main one I would have is don't forget that you've got a podcast and rush up when you're watching the tennis and then just grooming yourself like some sort of chimpanzee with fleas.
I very rarely groom mine, to be honest. My girlfriend's always telling me off because I look like a fucking tramp.
Well, I've got to keep mine trim because it just grows out in all different directions. So
well, so does everybody else's, Dave.
Well, no, because yours are growing downwards.
No, Dave.
Kind of like
it doesn't grow down, Dave. You've got to straighten it. With the hair, when you just get out of the shower, just get a hair dryer and a brush and just straighten it down, and that's it. And it's done.
There you go.
Because my beard also grows like this.
Yeah, because I bought stuff for it. I bought a nice wooden comb.
Yeah.
And it works, so I bought clippers.
A nice wooden comb. Okay.
I've got a couple of wooden combs, but I just use an hairbrush.
That's what I was told.
Yeah. I just think get someone that knows how to cut it. That's it. That's all I do.
Yeah. My girlfriend cuts mine for me. I'm pretty lucky like that. But what colour do you put on it to make it that colour then, Alan?
Yeah, I obviously have to dye it white. It's like
because mine's only fucking half white. I hate it.
You don't get called bloody Santa, right? I feel like if that happens on tour, I might have to leap over the harmonium and cry at somebody.
Well, if you come to Wales, that's definitely happening now.
I had one fantastic heckling bloke who just kept thinking of people like he thought I looked like and kept shouting from the crowd. But they were quite good. And I had to go, I like that. Prince Michael of Kent. I think that's quite good. Let's go with that.
Well, I don't think you appreciated the Susan Boyle one, did you?
No.
Well, I'm still, perhaps I shouldn't have been singing ABBA. There might have been some drinking.
What song was it?
It was the one from Mamma Mia, what Pierce Brosnan sings. I don't know. I was very drunk.
I don't know which one he sings. I can't watch Mamma Mia.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I've never seen it. So.
Yeah, because
SOS.
Pierce Brosnan singing that, or I heard him because he is, brother.
Yeah,
he is
exactly.
really
So you can sing better than Pierce Brosnan. I mean, that's just it's all competition, Dave. You should just do that because he can't sing.
That's a good Twitter bio, actually. A better singer than Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah,
I haven't even watched him in James Bond, so
he's a good James Bond.
Is he?
Yeah, I liked him in James Bond, but he's a pretty dreadful singer.
Apparently, he didn't know it entailed singing when he signed up for that.
What, James Bond?
No, you just tapped into an idea. You know? James Bond, the musical.
Or if we could get Adele to be the next Jane Bond.
Jane Bond?
Jane Bond, get a singer to, because I know you signed up for doing the theme tune, but we're going to actually...
Yeah, but hear me out.
Yeah. I don't mind her. Write it, sing it, star in it. What was his name? Dennis Waterman.
Dennis Waterman, yeah. Write the theme tune. Sing the theme tune.
Love it.
Oh.
But I think, this has just gone way off on a tangent again, but haven't they mentioned making James Bond a woman recently?
No, that ain't going to happen, is it?
Well, I've got mixed up with Doctor Who. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Doctor Who's changed it back to a bloke now. It's the guy that was in really good. We're laughing at a really good series.
I guess can't believe we're fucking recording this shit. That's all.
Edit the shit out. I don't know.
It's a sin.
I don't edit anything.
He was the main character in It's a Sin, which
Oh yeah,
which was all about people moving to London and the game.
I loved it.
Amazing, and you know, because I was shocked how bad they were treated. I didn't realise it was as bad as that. Because obviously, I live in a little town in Wales, and you don't know what's going on around you.
Yeah.
And the lad that died last in it, I think it might have been the guy that came from the Isle of Wight. It might have been him.
Right.
He's now going to be the next Doctor Who.
Oh, what, Ollie from Years and Years?
Yeah, yeah, he's a good actor. Very good.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so he's the next. That's what I saw the other day.
Wow, I didn't realise that. He's
Again,
really
on
going into
social
it.
media, so it might be a load of bollocks, mine. But
Right. Yeah, I loved it, Sin.
What the fuck are you talking about?
amazing. It was a series on Channel 4 called It's a Sin.
Oh, It's a Sin. I got no idea what it is.
Yeah,
So
I
that
actually
guy's the
watched
new-
something you haven't watched.
Alan's looking as confused as me.
Just thinking, is that like Years and Years the singer? And
Yeah.
he was great as a
He
singer.
was good. Yeah,
So-
he's a great artist. Yeah.
So there you have it. A modern artist who's managed to be a good artist, go on TV and now going to be Doctor Who. That's a musician who's got a decent manager.
But I would say that used to take 10 years. It only takes a few years now. Everyone branches out to bloody JD Sports, before the first album's out because of the music industry. Obviously, they're very successful, and he it's not like he'll be struggling to make a living from. You know what I mean? I noticed that with pop stars a lot now, where they don't necessarily stay in their lane. It used to happen later in their careers that they would move into acting, but it seems to happen sort of concurrently nowadays. Don't know if you guys have noticed that.
Yeah, well, I've always been waiting for Robbie Williams to make a move into acting because I just assumed that was going to be a natural thing, and I thought he'd end up being a James Bond because when he released that Millennium single and he was dressed up in the suit and all that, I thought, oh, here we go. So I thought he was going to be the next James Bond.
But he's a good example. Like, there's no doubt that if Robbie Williams was at his peak now, he would be doing other stuff like that because it just seems to be what happens. Like Harry Styles has been in Hollywood movies, Rita Ora, Taylor Swift. Everybody has been in a movie or TV series.
Yeah.
What about Ed Sheeran's new video?
Oh yeah, that was filmed near where we live. It was filmed in Catford, apparently.
I haven't seen it, but just asking you.
It's a very good music video. I don't think it's his best work. I don't think the song is. I mean, I remember when Shape of You and Castle on the Hill came out. The country stopped for about a month. Like it was just all you heard on the radio, and those songs have endured. But I think the new single. I don't know if you've heard it on the radio.
Yeah, I heard it on YouTube or whatever. I haven't seen the video, but I've heard the song.
Yeah.
I saw the video before the song. He's got like all made up in it, isn't he?
There's like a vampire with a pink suit on. That's a bit I saw because I seen it on Instagram.
Yeah, it was a quality video, but maybe the song will grow on me. I'm a fan actually, but it wasn't my favorite single that he's released.
I really like the song, to be honest.
Yeah,
I thought because it's so different to what it's out of his lane, if you like. I mean, it's the sort of song that he writes for other artists rather than using him himself.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's really good. And I saw an Instagram video with him the other day because I'm trying to get him on the podcast actually, but Dave doesn't want me to get him on. But
I'm a massive fan of Ed Sheeran. Massive fan.
But I saw, and he was explaining how he's going to perform that song live on stage with his loop pedal. So he made a little bit of a drum beat, and he made another beat, and then it was really interesting. So things like that I find interesting. So
yeah, it is. Where can we find that?
It was on Instagram.
Oh, on his Instagram.
On his Instagram, yeah. Teddy's Photos is
right.
His moniker.
I'll check it out. Yeah. No, I like that stuff, the musical stuff, and like I was saying, great songwriters have a way of getting by your guard where you first hear it and you're like, it's not my favourite thing they've done, and then 4 weeks later you're like, it's my favourite thing they've done.
Yeah. I sent it to Dave, I did, because I sent it on Spotify, I think. Was it Dave? Yeah. I said, have a listen to this, because this is like, when I first heard it, I didn't even know it was Ed Sheeran, to be honest. It's like, well, because it's more like a Bieber song, a bit Bieberish, like the other one he did about not being in a party or something. Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I don't care.
No, I don't care either, but it was about being in a party.
Good one.
But no, is that what it's called? Is it I Don't Care?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. I know it was about somebody being in a party, that's all. But yeah, it's like I said, it's a bit more of a song that you'll write for somebody else, like, I don't know, Taylor Swift maybe. But but he's used it himself. He seems to have used it himself this time. And he was actually on Dutch radio yesterday, because I saw a thing on Facebook. They were interviewing him, and he said, "Oh, you're allowed to swear on Dutch radio." And
I saw that.
and he said, and the interviewer guy said, "You can say whatever the fuck you want on Dutch radio."
Yeah, I remember that.
To be honest. And then he was like, "Oh, great!" And then he just started cursing. So
I found that funny. So I like his talking. It's just as soon as he tries to harmonise it, I don't like it. So if he came on, I could speak to him, but as long as he didn't start singing.
Well, he's not Dennis Waterman, is he?
No, I hope not. I just don't get him. He's not in my lane. And
you didn't get Massive Wagons, but now you love him. So
yeah, I just don't get him.
People have said that to me as well. I think he's a bit like Coldplay in that he's quite Marmite. Some people love him, some people hate him.
As well.
Yeah, I hate Coldplay.
I really like him. but I just think it's one of them ones where people people have quite strong opinions. But like for me, I kind of feel like he's the home team in the sense that I think that the top 40 is so bad to the point where quite a lot of songs shouldn't even be classed as a song. They should be classed as like a TikTok loop. You know, they're that bad nowadays that actually Sheeran represents the classic songwriting structure. I understand how his sound isn't everybody's cup of tea. He's like verse chorus kind of classic songwriting.
Yeah, but he wrote half a fucking top 40 anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You know, he's just at one point, didn't he have something like nine hits in the top 10 or something?
Right, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, a couple of years ago, yeah.
You know, so yeah, he's just turning out some shit. He does turn out some shit, let's be honest. Like,
so Andy, that's what we're setting ourselves the target. How many songs can we write for other people in the top 10?
No, I think it was all himself singing them.
Oh, really?
And he had like 9 hits in the top 10 at one point.
That was probably
it was all Ed Sheeran, wasn't it?
Probably like alcohol and stuff during furlough.
Yeah, I think he does. He writes a lot with the guy from Snow Patrol, and if you hate Coldplay, you probably hate Snow Patrol as well. But I like
Snow Patrol.
I quite like Snow Patrol as well.
Yeah, I do like them.
No, I'm a big fan. Yeah,
it's because he can sing. The guy out of Coldplay can't sing. He just sounds like a strangled cat. He can't sing. He generally can't sing. The guy is.
Yeah, it's not that they write bad songs.
Oh,
and they don't plagiarize a lot.
Yeah,
but allegedly. But yeah, it's just. I think it's just the way they come across Coldplay. I mean, because songs like Yellow and the few songs they did in the early years were pretty okay, you know.
Music is just they need to get somebody else to sing it because he's shit.
Yeah, I mean lyrically it's not bad. Some of it. I mean, I like that one song about the man who rushes the streets and used to be the king.
Yeah, Viva La Vida.
Is that Viva? No, it's about football, isn't it?
I used to rule the world. That one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, that's a great song, you know.
Yeah, but he murdered it, didn't he?
Yeah, he just can't sing, can he?
Have it.
See, this is why I haven't said much today. I'm obviously grumpy.
You know, it's just I'd like to be famous enough that someone took the time to tell me my singing was shit.
That's true. That's when you've made it.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic singer.
Well, I don't know. I could release a podcast of me singing, and plenty of people will tell me I'm shit.
Be an actress and have my own well-being brand and stuff. That's just
Well, it's easier than making albums, Alan. Maybe that's next.
I'd actually like Tez, if we form a beard brand and we call it CHOPSING for beards or something, you know, I think it's huge. That's the way ahead. I think that you got a nice brand there. We should work on that.
CHOPSING for beards. I'll think of a better name.
I don't know. Yeah,
we'll think of a better name. We'll think of a better name.
That's the main thing that's come out of this is our now business opportunity. With this, how beautiful company was born at that moment.
Well, I'm always open to opportunities, me. So.
Yeah, no, that's the thing I was saying about missing gloriously. We were aiming at a hit album. We ended up with beard wax, and we're doing really well out of it.
Yeah,
right. That's it.
Well, you're trying to grow your beard, Andy. So.
Well, this is the thing. Alan's my inspiration. He's like my mentor.
We both know that's not true. So at the moment, I'm running 100 kilometres this month because Andy did it 2 months ago and complained about it so much on Facebook. I thought, stop your whining, I'll do it. And now I'm like 8 days in and I'm going, did you do it?
There's method to the whining. I said the same to my friend that did it. You whine because for every whine you notice 3 donations come in on Just Giving.
Oh, right, okay.
If you stay quiet about it because you're being stoic, you don't get donations. But if you whine, they come in like clockwork.
Oh, okay. Well, that's it, Dave. We'll start whining.
Yeah.
On this podcast. Yeah, I saw that on your Facebook. I think it was your Facebook, Alan. I added you as a friend, and I did see that you were walking. You were running, running 100 kilometers over a month.
Yeah, and but it's one of those things that I actually thought, how hard can that be, you idiot? And now I'm going, it's actually very hard. So,
that's my favorite fucking line. How hard can it be?
Yeah. Well,
my sister also did it, but she walked 100 miles in 30 days, I think.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing for some sort of charity, and but I've got a brother that runs that in a day.
Oh, he's mental, isn't he?
100 miles.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Well, not a day, but over 24 hours.
Yeah.
He does 100-mile marathons and stuff.
Jesus.
That's my dad did 80 miles when he was the same age as me now.
Yeah. How old's my brother, Dave? Same as you, isn't he?
It's me, yeah, 36.
36. 46.
49.
49. Oh, well, he's even older than I thought. Yeah. And he's still running 100-mile races. He's crazy.
That's class.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he's a vegan.
Yeah, so he's not taking on any
meat.
You know, I need a good pizza before I started, probably kebab halfway through, and then KFC at the end. Do you know what I mean?
That's a great comedy sketch, by the way.
They put a fishing rod in front of you with a bit of chicken and you run after it.
That's it, yeah. The guy on the Danish bacon advert. He did one. It was like I remember him saying it was 100 and something miles. He run the first half of it, then he camped, so he had the tent on his back and the sleeping bag, and then he ran the next lot of it then, or within 20, I think it was 24 hours or 36 hours or something. It was incredible.
Fair play. I like that. You know, when people do things that are actually hard for charity, I think
he doesn't do it for charity. He does it for fun.
Oh, really? It's not for charity.
No,
okay,
it's
so
just
just
fucking fun.
Just mental. Right?
What can I do this weekend? And then
cool. Well, fair play.
Taking up open water swimming as well. So he just swims in a big lake for the fun of it as well.
Fucking days.
Because someone will be throwing concrete balls in there and pretend.
That's right, making a reef.
That's just a pebble. It's just a pebble.
I'm a vegan, you know. I'm a vegan swimmer. Stop throwing dead bodies at me. Oh, well. All right then, lads. I think we've gone down a bit of a weird and wonderful route today.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything. Yeah, literally everything.
Yeah. What I will do though, I will send your socials to my mate who's got the live venue, and then there's another live venue which is about 5 miles away from that one as well. So there's a couple of live venues which are really good. So, and I haven't got I don't know the owners of that one, but I've probably got a contact that I can get in touch with them.
Well, thank you.
Really kind. It's so much of this stuff is you know is people helping each other. It really is, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. I mean, we love having you on, man. I mean,
either Alan when you're on stage. I promise.
Yeah. If they think your music's rubbish, you could always try a bit of stand up.
No, we could just put up the wire cages and people could throw bottles at us. It'd be like the Blues Brothers. Country and Western.
Yeah, this has been a fun episode, and I'd like to thank you both for coming on. Even though I did get my days mixed up, I was a bit worried that you wouldn't come back to me, to be honest. But I'm really happy you did.
I hit the roof.
I bet you did. Oh, that fucking bastard got it mixed up. Now I can't. Now I can watch the football.
Putting us on the same night as the bloody.
No, just kidding. Obviously, it's been great.
So, are you going to make any more albums in your wardrobe before we go?
I'm so sick of it. to be honest. It'd be
It's
nice
about
to
time you
sing.
came out of the fucking closet.
It would be nice if we were in the studio, wouldn't it? I mean, I did love working in this room, but I really would like to be in a proper studio again. So.
Yeah, it's getting a bit cabin fever.
Claustrophobic.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
it needs to go on tour with you. Something from that closet needs to go on tour with you because it's, you know, it's part of the album. So whether it be a door or
I think that's a good idea. Can you imagine like
Take the fucking wardrobe.
exactly? I think that's a cracking idea, to be honest with you.
You're definitely put it on top of your car, Andy. That's right.
Just like a
You could actually take it
put
with
on a
you.
roof rack and put all your instruments inside it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But you could take it with you, paint it blue, and tell them it's a TARDIS. Pretend you're from Doctor Who.
And then there's just like a casual harmonium. It's all a bit surreal.
They just get nicked then. Someone.
They will in Wales anyway.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but they certainly will in some of the places we're playing. Around here, yeah.
All right, then, guys. It's been great having you on.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
I hope you feel the same. But
yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's always a bit. We try and have a bit of a laugh, like so. We try and keep it a bit relaxed. So not quite this relaxed normally, but
that's what happens when I let you go for it, like.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thanks for coming on. We'll make sure we share all your socials, we share your music, and on all your gigs as well. So hopefully, you know.
Thanks so much.
Support you, and I hope it goes well.
Have you got like a combined social networking platform now, or are you still doing separately? Separates.
Still, and because we've got loads of projects going on. But yeah, we didn't get around to setting up in time to get enough people to follow us to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, and also it kind of spreads our bets a little bit, you know, with Alan's following in mind. So
yeah, if they don't like one of you, they can just follow the other.
Everyone's left me.
All right, guys.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's been fun. I've had a good laugh. I needed it today, to be honest, after England winning the football yesterday.
Well, I've been spoilt rotten. So thanks again.
Yeah, take care, guys.
All right, take care.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, you can log off. I know you're late joining. Oh, it's gone. Oh, how mad was that?
That was good fun, wasn't it?
Very. Alan's got a really very dry humour.
Oh, very, yeah, he's great.
Really, yeah. It was right up my street, to be honest.
Yeah.
He was talking, I couldn't stop fucking laughing.
That was good.
And then when they were talking about making a song out of baby words,
that's amazing.
I was fucking. I just couldn't keep a straight face.
Great, isn't it? It's good.
It is really inspirational. Well, I don't know if it's inspirational, but to grab some gobbledygook from a 2-year-old, but obviously they thought it was.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's interesting anyway.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's different, isn't it? It's rather than talking about like Ed Sheeran talking about his fucking dog dying and wife leaving.
I don't know if he's ever had a dog.
He's had 58 dogs because the song is about his dog Shep.
That was Elvis. Oh, all right then, mate.
Yeah, that was a good one tonight.
Yeah, it was funny. You never said a lot, but
no, I know I didn't need to. I was laughing. It was good.
Yes. They get more and more left field as they go on these podcasts. I think.
Yeah.
With that one with Jason, and that went a bit haywire. And I think the one with Verity that went a bit haywire. This one's gone way off.
Yeah.
So, but maybe people will like it. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully.
I hope so.
Hopefully they'll give us some feedback. Let us know.
We got 45 subscribers now on the YouTube.
Good.
Which has gone up by 4 since I announced the competition. So keep subscribing, guys. You might get something nice in the post.
Yeah, Kit Kats are lovely.
Kit Kat, 2 fingers and a tea bag. Well, yeah, okay. Anyway, it's time to go. Catch you later, Dave.
Yeah, have a good one.
Ta-ra.